All right. I want to look at this text here before we continue. As a matter of fact, why there is so much confusion among us? Why there is so much division among us, right? Now, here I'm looking at the book of Ephesians, chapter 3. I'm looking at it from the ISR translation, called the Scriptures, the 1998 Scriptures. That's the translation that I'm looking at. Now, in this translation, they correctly use the word Gentiles. But in them using the word Gentiles, their intent is to convey or for you to think that the Gentiles are people other than who they truly are. Now, according to the scriptures, family, who are the Gentiles? Who are the Gentiles? According to the scriptures, who are the Gentiles? Now, tradition says one thing, but according to the scriptures, who are the Gentiles? The scattered ones. Right, the Gentiles are the scattered ones. Yes. The people of Yashar'Al living in foreign lands. That's who the Gentiles are. The people that were put away by Yahuah, divorced by Yahuah. That's how we got the name Guyim, which comes from Gui. You see, divorced ones, scattered ones, put away ones. You see? So the Gentiles are the scattered ones. Now, this text does correctly show Gentiles where it belongs. However, they would like for you to think that Gentiles is speaking of someone else. So when we read the scriptures, family, we must keep this in mind. When we read the scriptures, when we study the scriptures, we must keep in mind, oh, by the way, for example, let me speak of the renewed covenant in particular. When we read the renewed covenant, we must keep this in mind. It was written to the scattered people of Yashar'Al. It was written for the awakening. It was addressed to a people who were sleeping. Going back to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, it was written to the dry bones, where thousands of years earlier, Yahuah asked his prophet, can these bones live? And the prophet says, Yahuah, only you know. Well, later, Yahuah come to show that yes, the dry bones will live again. And so here now, the renewed covenant is a letter to the dry bones. The writings of the renewed covenant is a letter to the dry bones, reacquainting them with their past and letting them know concerning their future. Okay? The renewed covenant is a letter to the dry bones. All right? So when we read the renewed covenant, we must keep in mind to whom it's addressed. If we don't keep that in mind, we will misinterpret, mistranslate, misunderstand, misrepresent it. And translation, time and time again, do that. Not because they did not know, but because they willfully do that. But we don't have to willfully do it, family. We don't need to willfully do it. Just keep in mind the purpose of the writings. So this book, Ephesians, was written to people of Yashar'Al, scattered and living in the isles of Ephesus, Greek isles. Okay? The isles of Ephesus, Greek territory. That's who it was written to. The people of Yashar'Al living in the isles of Ephesus. They're scattered from their home. Okay? And so now the Malachak is writing to them, reacquainting them with the truth. If you begin at the very beginning of the book, it describes to them the redemptive process, the redeeming process, the buying back process. Redeem, the word redeem is a financial terminology. And that's what Yahuah did for us. He redeemed us. He bought us back. You know, somebody talk about redeeming a coupon. It's a financial term. For example, in the book of Chronicles, and many places in the scriptures, but I'll point to Chronicles because a lot of Christians like to quote Chronicles, and they don't realize what it's actually saying. But if you read Chronicles 7, they quote a whole lot, one verse in Chronicles. The renewed covenant must be understood from the context of Torah and the prophets. Renewed covenant must be understood from the context of Torah and the prophets. If it is not understood from the context of Torah and the prophets, we will not understand it, and we will always hold to our Christian understanding with the lies that have been fed to us by Christianity.